Hey, so we have here one of my favorite clients, Rusty Rooker. Is that how you pronounce your last name, Rooker?
Yeah, that's right, Rukert.
Hey, my man, it's been quite a journey. This past more or less 4 months since you came back to us after you were a few months of retirement. So it's been quite a journey. I mean, you got back here when the market was shifting.
Yeah,
How
it
how how was it?
it was just perfect timing. So I was with Hesel for a year and 3 months, and I was able to get essentially a deal every month with them. And then I saw that the Fed was going to raise interest rates, and that was going to probably cause a little shift in the market. So in 2002, April, I stopped running ads and left Hessel behind. And I took a few months off and went to the Dominican Republic with my kids and wife. And we just kind of enjoyed ourselves over there until we could come back and the market could shift. And that market shift is happening. And so then I went back and I signed up with the Hessel again. And lo and behold, I'm getting about a deal a month again. So it's not rocket science. It's just like putting a quarter in a candy machine and the candy comes out. It's the same thing.
Man, I love how you make it sound so simple, man. Uh, I mean, I know what you mean, though. I know what you mean because that's how it feels. That's actually the facts. But can you tell us a little bit more of this journey? Like, has it all been like a straight line, or have you feel like there are some ups and downs? Like, I'm curious.
Yeah. Yeah, there's always ups and downs, with to be 100% honest with the amount of marketing that I do, it's a pretty small volume, and I'm only using Facebook ads, and it's only with Hessel, and that's where I rely on my deals. And so sometimes there's going to be some slow months, especially this year when the market was turning. September and October was very slow, and it was tough to get a deal. But I stuck it out, and one of my leads from November closed in December. And then one of my leads from October, I just closed it on Friday, just a couple days ago. And so we just needed to get the ball rolling, and you just need to stick to the process. That's I've been in this business for 5 years, and I just, whenever a lead comes in, I do the same thing with the lead every single time, because I know that, yeah, okay, maybe I won't get that deal, but if I do the same thing and charge every lead like a bull, then I'm gonna get some deals. It's just the way it is. And so, yeah, I didn't get, one deal per month, but I did get, yeah, I'm on my fourth deal, and I haven't even been here yet with Hessel for 5 months. And so that, as long as you're patient, it's going to work.
Man, I love that. You couldn't have said it better. Um, that's quite a lesson, and this one is like a huge case study for us right now. Let me tell you,
Okay.
um, because I mean, it was great the way you put it at the beginning. One deal per month is what it is. That's what it is. That's an average, right?
Yeah, right.
Almost 5 months, 4 deals. That's one per month, right?
Right.
But the reason I tell you this is a case study is because when the market started shifting, we didn't know what was going to happen, right? So it was all how you call it, it's like it's going to be a surprise. Like we didn't know what the future laid ahead. And then all it took was a person with enough patience, with enough long-term results mindset to keep going and get to the results that you're getting right now. You know what
Right.
I mean? So now I'm using this case study and I'm talking to my clients with more confidence.
Yeah.
Just so you know, man, thank you for inspiring me, man. I mean, that was great. I've been feeling more confident since this January, talking about my clients that they have to be patient. I mean, I
Yes.
always do because it's just the way it is. That's the way Facebook works. But it gives me more confidence to know your case, you know?
Right.
Let me give you one metric that people should be measuring right now
Okay.
that will help people understand what you're saying. It is called cash conversion cycles. Simple as that. How many days, it could be measured in days, for example. How many days it takes from the moment you put the money in to get the lead until you cash out. You see? So you were saying, hey, I follow the day-to-day process, and then I've been patient, and then I cash out, right? If you take the amount of days that it took each of these leads to close and get you the money back, you sum it and you divide it by the number of deals, it's gonna give you the average cash conversion cycles. With a team that is usually doing their best as possible, and they have the sales process tuned in, very tuned in, it could take somewhere maybe 45 to 60 days, somewhere in those lines. Even if it is a little higher, it still makes sense because, like you said, you start the ball rolling, and then you get the results out. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So something else I'm telling, I mean, just to keep it simple to some of my clients, what I'm saying is, man, just think about it. One deal that gives you 20K is gonna pay for a lot of time with us, you know? So keep doing it because it's gonna come, right? When people stop trying, it's many times because of patience. And you know what happens when you lose patience? You face the new challenges with less optimism, with less hope, and that affects everything.
Right.
Well, I was giving you a lot of information here, my man, kind of like a summary on other perspective, but this is you telling us
Okay.
your experience. So I want to know what you think about what I just said.
Oh yeah, no, what you're saying makes so much sense. It's that cash conversion. You know, I know that I'm dropping a few $1,000s every month for marketing. And to be honest, it does sting a little sometimes, but okay, so the deal that I just got, I signed the contract in December and I closed in January, and now I'm flipping that house with very little work into it, and I'm going to close in 2 weeks from now. I'm going to make $40,000 off of that one deal, and that's going to cover, at least 8 months of marketing. And so if I know that, I just do one really easy small flip that's quick, that's essentially a wholesale, that covers 8 months of marketing. That means every other deal is free for me. I'm getting free deals that I can then feel justified to keep those houses because they're subject to deals that obviously I want to keep those mortgages. I don't want to sell those or give those to anybody else. And so it hurts in the beginning seeing that money going out for marketing, but once you start getting deals, then you like seeing that money go out because that's just, you're just, paying for future deals. It's worth it.
Man, that's amazing. Do you feel like it takes that type of person to be able to do what you did?
Oh, man, I honestly feel like it takes somebody that has a little bit of belief and hope. Really, that's what it comes down to. Because if I believe that my money today that I pay for marketing will render a result in 6 to 8 to 12 weeks, then I'm going to continue working hard to get those deals, to really value those leads that are coming in. And whenever a lead comes in, even if I'm watching a show with my lady at 9:30 at night, I just stand up, push pause, head over to my computer and make that phone call because I know that lead could potentially be my next deal. And I could be at their house the next day, signing a contract at their kitchen table, knowing that I'll make 20, 30,000, or keep it as a subject to and make $800 a month off of a rental. So it's just, it's belief and hope and confidence that if I do the work now, good things are going to happen.
Man, I love that.
Yeah.
I love the way you see it. I was actually reading a book recently. I don't remember the name of the book, but they were talking about something like that. Like, he was saying that, hey, my life balance matters a lot to me. I remember the name of the book. It's called Why Clients Leave Us.
Oh,
Yeah, it's kind of good. And he was saying that it's really good, actually. He was saying that my family knows that I can go to see my kids at school, to go to meetings, to go to lunch at the middle of the day, but then they're more open. Since we do that, they're more open for me to take some time off at random times. If maybe because it also means a possible trip with my dad. You know what I mean?
yeah.
But what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, wow. That is a good question. The work-life balance has always, I'm going to be 100% honest here. I've always valued work as one of my top priorities. I mean, I love my kids. I do a lot of stuff with them. Obviously, I went to Dominican Republic with them for 4 months this summer. And because I work so hard and I've built a portfolio through just running Facebook ads and finding real estate deals, I was able to essentially retire and just live off of rents. And I was able to go surf with my kids twice a week. And then we'd go hit up 1 to 2 waterfalls, and we'd go pick up food and speak Spanish, and I mean, I spent 4 straight months with my family, and that's because I've worked so hard on those other times, even if it's on an evening or a weekend. And they know that, and they value that. And so they are especially very understanding now that we've been on some really cool trips, and we have a cool trip planned for this summer. And so it's, they know it. They know I love them. And so sometimes work takes precedence, but it's worth it.
Awesome. You're giving some good example for your kids there. Man, I think it's worth to ask you because something I know about you, and it is that you used to run your own campaigns in Facebook. So I feel like it is a good thing that I ask you right now. And people would like to know why somebody who was doing it himself, why is he working with us? I just think it's nice to know.
Right. So that's a good story. Okay. So when I first got started, I did have somebody running my Facebook ads for me. He's the one who kind of convinced me that Facebook ads was the way to go. He charged me to manage the Facebook ads for me. And he was a former real estate investor as well. And so I was paying him to do that, and I got good leads, and I was doing deals. And so it was a no-brainer for me to continue to pay him. Then he kind of fell off the map in 2020, right as the pandemic hit. He just stopped running it. He just stopped responding to any of my emails, nothing. He just kind of disappeared. And so he was just kind of, one of those just individual guys running Facebook ads. And he just kind of bailed on me. And so I decided, okay, you know what? Running Facebook ads can't be that complicated, right? It can't be that hard. And so I decided to run them myself, and it was an epic disaster. I mean, I think I was probably not putting enough money on each day. And then I would upload ads, and they would get rejected by Facebook for being, it's related to housing. And so they're very, very sensitive about housing related Facebook ads. And even when I would get them approved 30 days later, they would get rejected again. And it was really just a huge waste of my time to manage those Facebook ads and be stressed out all the time when none of my marketing was happening. And so honestly, handing that off to somebody else because that's that work was very heavy to me. Handing off the heavy work to other people is the only way to succeed. And so I was able to hand that off to Hesel. And ever since then, it's like, it's just a no-brainer. It's like, do I want to buy houses? Yeah. Okay. All right. We'll get Hesel Media. They'll do my Facebook ads for me. I know if Facebook ads work. I know that they're going to keep them running every single day, and they're going to keep me at an ad rate on a daily basis at the correct level. And so I get deals. And it's just so that, and I can remove that heavy work from my daily workload.
Man, that's amazing. Everything you've shared is just really nice. I know you do it because you care also about people learning from you. And if this helps somebody else, I'm pretty sure that you're going to be excited about it. So thank you so much for sharing all these tips, all this journey of yours, which is very particular, right? Like you have your own story, your unique story so far.
Yeah.
So it's been quite a journey, man. I've learned so much from you. I guess what I would like to touch base real quick on before we finish this quick call is on next steps, man. Not that you have to take them, right? But it's always good to be thinking about possible next steps in the future and everything. So I'm gonna start with that last part that you mentioned, giving the heavy work to other people.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start there because one way my clients, I'm gonna talk about the bigger team, the bigger clients with bigger teams, basically. One way that they see this is basically by I'm making compartments of the different departments of the business, right? Mm-hmm. So if you had a bigger team, you would have what is called marketing department. You would have the lead management department, meaning everything that has to do with the CRM, right? That department. Mm-hmm. Then you have the acquisitions department. Then you have the dispositions department, right? That's basically everything, right? From getting the contacts until selling the houses, right?
Yeah, yeah.
One thing that I want to mention is that what you said about the marketing department is the way you said it was, I gave the heavy work to people. When you give heavy work to people, all you're doing is removing that time that you're going to spend on it. And you're also increasing the capacity of that department. The capacity of each of the departments can be measured in different ways. For example, with marketing, it could be, one of those could be lead flow, right? Because you want lead flow, so you can focus on what you know how to do best, right? Yeah. The other option in the lead management department is if you increase the capacity of the lead management department, what it does is, if you have a person in charge of the lead management, only one person, this person can put you in front of more appointments. You see? Right. Of course, it would require sometimes, depending on your goals, it would require sometimes more lead sources, right? Or more Facebook leads, or even including Google PPC to your things, because now these people are gonna be working on trying to call as many people to get as many appointments for you, right? So you can spend all of your time doing the acquisitions, which is what you're really good at, right?
Right.
So
right.
That's one possibility. And then if we start dreaming, man, the sky is the limit. Having an acquisitions person doing it for you, and then you focusing only on these positions, and then having a dispositions person, basically a transactional coordinator and all these different roles, where you can just remove yourself from the seat and handle the whole vision of the team. It's easier said than done. It is, it has a lot of work because you need to move from the execution seat to the seat of this person who is gonna orchestrate everything so that it gives the results so that everybody gets paid. So, but I did want to mention to you, just because this is something that you may want to do in the future. But I just want to hear your thoughts real quick on this.
Yeah, no, the thing is whenever I listen to podcasts and everybody's just talking about scaling, right? That's always the word that people, once they have found a business model that works, the next idea
Mhm.
is to scale it up. And that means hiring people to take on different roles. And also, it would also mean for me, since I am a Burr investor, I would then have to find more investors, private investors, to loan me money to then buy more houses, to then refinance or flip, either way. And then to get an acquisitions guy or girl. I have thought about this a lot, but to tell you the truth, I'm very, very comfortable at the cadence that I'm at right now. And my business is somewhat a lifestyle business where I've gotten to a place where doing one deal a month and keeping it as a rental and then just adding to that rental income, it's very manageable and pretty easy for me. And so so it's just too easy to stay comfortable. That's really what it comes down to. But
And
yeah,
fair
but
enough.
yeah,
That's fair enough. I mean, you're doing it because you want to have this lifestyle.
right.
So that's fair enough. Um, the reason I'm telling you this is just so you can have this. I mean, like as an option, I don't see. I understand what these people say, that once they have a business model that works, that they should be scaling it. I don't think that's the case for everybody. That's my personal opinion, right?
Mhm.
But if you if some people want to do it, I think they can do it and still keep their lifestyle.
Mm.
And the reason I say that is because if you do it slowly and you make sure that the first step that you take is done well, then it shouldn't become like a nightmare. Let me just give you an example. Hiring one lead manager. Like, by the way, people who don't know it, we offer the service. It's called remotelatinos.com. And it's some of the best lead managers out there. After this quick commercial, one lead manager can cost all the way, I mean, starting at $5 an hour, just to give you an example. That person, $5 an hour, that's like, I believe, like $800 a month, something like that. And then, and $100 a month. So that's in a year, not much money.
No,
Is like 100 times 12, 900, 9,600 a year.
that's cheap.
So there is this guy that is an expert in scaling businesses, James Hodges. We have the recorded masterclass. I don't know if you saw it, but it's there if you want to watch it again for Hustle Media clients.
Uh-huh.
And one of the things that James Hodges says is, it took him, when he started the business, the REI business, it took him like 20 days or something to hire his first lead manager, just
Okay.
because he knew that whatever this guy was doing was going to be easily recovered. He could recover that money back easily from
Yeah.
only one 10K deal in a year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, the reason I'm mentioning that is because then if you're doing that, then all you have to make sure is that your systems are built in a way that you produce one more deal a year. I say one more. It doesn't have to. I mean, it doesn't make sense to keep the same amount of deals with this person, right?
True.
Because you need I mean, that's an investment you need to recoup. And after you get one more deal, that's easy enough. And then 2 deals, 3 deals, 4 deals, the sky is the limit. Of course, there are some other adjustments that may need to be made, because if we have this person who can create appointments for you, you want to make sure he has also the input, right? The amount of leads that he may need to give you more and more appointments. But now, if we're increasing the ad spend a little bit, or even considering to create like a different source like Google, then it makes sense to scale at this point, because you have someone who is going to help you create these appointments for you. So
Right.
I just want to keep it simple there.
Yeah.
just so you I give you some things to think about. And once that's stable, you know what's good about things being stable at some point is that this is also from James Hodges. James Hodges says that the people that are doing the business by themselves, as soon as they go to vacations, the business stops.
Yeah, no, that is tough. No, when I'm gone for a weekend with the kids, or when I'm out with the family for a week somewhere, it's stressful because if I'm at the beach and I get a lead, it's just like, okay, how do I effectively actually talk to this person without my computer in front of me? And yeah, it would be nice to just be able to turn it off for a week, because I know that I've got a good team running things for me. Because I mean, you're 100% right on that. Like, I have added headcount since the beginning of this. I used to do all the work on the houses myself. I used to buy the houses. I used to do all the work with managing rentals. Now I, have a lady that works for me, and she does all the property manager work. I've got a construction supervisor that manages all of the labor at the properties when they're fixing the houses. And because I was able to hire just like high quality people that care about the work, I don't worry about the property management, and I don't worry about, the quality of work that's going into the rehabs, because I've got good people in those roles, even though they don't work for me on a W-2 basis, more of like a commission and task related, but it's changed where I'm spending all my time, because I don't spend my time on property management, and I am involved with the rehabs, but not as much as I used to be, and it is nice. It is so nice. Yeah.
I love that. That's
Yep.
amazing.
So adding a lead manager would probably be that next step where, okay, I've got somebody else setting up appointments for me, and then I can just go to appointments and look at those properties only. And then that frees my time up to, hey, I could raise some more money with private investors, or work on, let me tell you, okay, just in my business right now, I just rely on Facebook ads, and whatever leads that come in on the Facebook ads, that's what it is. That's my pool of people I work with. But I know for a fact right now that there's a lot of foreclosures, like in pre-foreclosures coming up. And if I was a lot more proactive with contacting that small list, I honestly think that I could easily get more deals. And I already know how I could get more deals. And it's just whether I'm willing to spend the time doing that.
Yeah.
And so what would I have to do? I would have to free my time up from something else so that I could do that to get more deals, really.
Absolutely. And one thing that I've learned personally with my clients, my man, is that there is a proper way of bringing a lead manager on. I mean, it's when you get a lead manager, you shouldn't be just not paying attention to the acquisition side just because, they are doing everything, so I'm just gonna wait and see and wait for the appointments.
Okay.
That's not really how it happens. It is more so that these people need to have like a framework that they're gonna be following up on these potential clients.
Okay.
Kind of understand where the head is at in terms of a little bit of a time frame and a little bit of how urgent they're gonna take action, right? Kind of like creating a scarcity and see if they are okay with the scarcity, meaning that you're gonna buy only 1 or 2 or 3 properties, and also if they're okay with their time frame, maybe 30 to 45 days.
Okay.
Right? If this person passes, let's call it the vibe check.
Yeah.
Then and it should be very easy to, I mean, you should be making the bar low for the lead manager to pass on to this person to you. And the reason I say that is that that department, the lead management department, the capacity of that department is measured by the number of appointments, not necessarily by them qualifying the seller. Because if you start making that pressure on the lead manager to also qualify the seller, what you're going to end up having is one person with two different objectives. I need more appointments, but I also need to qualify the seller. So those two objectives usually do not go well together in my experience with my clients. So the best way to do it is you have them qualify as, just pass the vibe check, like real quick, gather some simple information, and then all of your phone time is going to be with people that are going to be with you on the phone. I'm not talking only about fresh leads. I'm also talking about the leads that have been in your system for a couple of months now, right? As long as this person can get them on an phone appointment, then you can do what you do best, which is see where the head is at and see if it's worth it to actually go to a property and visit. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So you reduce the time that you're chasing people. Let's call it this way, because sometimes it feels like that, right? When you're
it definitely feels like that. Yeah.
And you do it because you know that this is a motivated seller. So once you get them on the phone, it's gonna pay out, you know. But if you have the lead management department with increased capacity, then that means that these people instead of you chasing them, he's gonna put them in front of you when they're ready to speak, when they're ready to talk. That's the big difference. And if we keep it that simple, before you know, instead of 5 appointments a week, maybe you'll be doing 10, 15 appointments a week, right? There's also one good way of paying your lead managers. I've seen everything, man. I've seen people don't pay anything to these guys, and I see people who pay like too much. When they pay too much, people tend to I'm rich, so I don't need more appointments, you know, and then they go. When you don't pay them anything, then there is no. When I say anything, I'm talking about commissions, right? They don't feel that good, right? But if you pay them maybe $100 for only per appointment, but only for the deals that close, then you're gonna have people wanting to have more appointments.
Sure.
Right. And they're gonna make sure that whatever you tell them, they follow it, because that's all you need. Like, you need people who have the urgency to sell, and you need people that are okay with taking action because they know you have only like 1 or 2 more properties, you know. I know this is kind of like a quick summary, but now that we're talking about it, I wanted to share that with you, man. Any thoughts?
Yeah, that is not bad. I just so I have had a VA before in the Philippines, and he was pretty good at cold calling, but he just I didn't really like cold calling because I had 3 leads a day, and because I had so many leads a day, the value of each lead kind of went down in my mind, because I'd call them and most of them were tire kickers and they weren't really motivated, right? And so they weren't really raising their hand to be like, hey, yeah, I do want to sell my house, like they do with Facebook ads. But I know that I didn't do a great job of keeping the communication, you know, with that VA. And I had him for 4 months, dropped a lot of cash and only got 1 deal. And then I just basically canceled that because it wasn't my style of marketing avenue like Facebook ads is. But at $800 a month, that's a really, really low risk. You know, that is not risky at all. $800 a month. That is a low risk move for sure. Just like what you're saying. It's like 10,000 a year plus you reward them when they find deals for you. I mean, that is pretty easy. It's an easy thought.
And then you have to have a good someone with good experience on the phone as well.
Yeah.
And you have to give them good material, because cold calling can pay a lot of money if done correctly. I mean, I like that lead source. The only problem is that it requires certain ability to be able to not get tire kickers.
Yep.
But then once you have the right type of leads, then it just becomes a lot easier of a decision, you know?
Yeah.
And of course, there's leadership, the stuff like that. But the good thing about Remote Latinos is that Remote Latinos is simple, man. It's just your fractional, your fractional recruiting service. So of course there is a fee to get to this person, but it's a one-time fee. And once you get the person, then it's all your month-to-month payments, right?
Mm-hmm.
There are some guarantees as well, because finding the right talent sometimes looks great on paper.
Yeah.
But then actually someone who actually executes on it is not going to be as easy. So there is some guarantees in terms of replacement the person for another one. I believe it's in the first 30 days or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then there is a small insurance also during the first 6 months where you can also replace it. So there are some ways to lower the risk for sure. So I guess it makes sense for you to make this step, man. I love the direction this call is taking. You don't have to tell me. You don't have to tell me today.
Yeah.
We can definitely leave the people watching this with wanting to know what happened at the end.
That's funny. No, I mean, for the people that are watching this, I just want them to know that real estate is not that was not what my background was in. I didn't have a dad or a mom or an uncle or anybody that I knew that like trained me in real estate. I was working for an agricultural company, and I worked long hours, a lot of hours with this company. I would travel a lot. I'd spend about 4 months out of the year not at home. And that was happening even when I was running ads. So I started doing Facebook ads for real estate 2 years before I left the company. And I was still able to make phone calls, kind of step out, even though I'm working 10 hours a day, sometimes more than that. I just kind of made it a priority. It's like, okay, if I get a phone call or if I get a Facebook lead, I'm going to step out, make the phone call, get that going, set up that appointment for me to go by the house after work or on the weekends. And that's when people want to meet anyways, is after work and on the weekends. So it's, even if you have a full-time job, just getting those Facebook ads going is the easiest way to get those leads. And you just set up those appointments and you start meeting with sellers, and you can get it figured out, even with a full-time job. I know a guy that's wholesaling right now, and he's been wholesaling since I started, and he still keeps his full-time job just because he likes that W-2 stability while he's building his portfolio. And in the time that he's been going, which is about 4 or 5 years, he's picked up 38 doors. The reason I know that is because he reached out to me to see if my property manager that I actually just works for me directly, for her to start managing his properties, because he was so over it. But it's pretty amazing that even if you have a full-time job, you can pull this off. You definitely can.
You know, the next thing these people want to also hear from you.
What do they want to hear?
They want to hear from you that you want to refer us to this company, to Hustle Media, so they can start having the same level of success, man.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's all, in all reality, especially, man, if you have a full-time job, deciding like, yeah, after I put in 9-10 hours at work today, I'm going to make 100 phone calls in the afternoon. After you work an entire long day at work, your ability to make good decisions when you're tired is typically not there. Like when you're tired, that's when you do the dumb things. Mm-hmm. Yeah. You watch TV, you start snacking late at night, you start eating like cold cereal or something. Your ability to make decisions is gone. And so if you have an automatic system that is finding leads for you, sending it to your phone and pushing you to contact them, that's the nudge that you need to get deals. And so it's always worked for me. And it worked for me when I was working full time, and it works for me now. And yeah, Hesel's I've worked with 2 different groups before. Hesel's 100 times better than the person that was doing it for me before, because they give you this great CRM that is so easy to use. Um, it really changes the way you can really sort through your deals, and there's notes involved when even if you've contacted somebody 2 months ago and you're like, okay, I'm going to reach out to this person again, or they responded to an automatic email or text message that was sent out. You can just read your own notes and be like, oh, okay, that's what's going on with this guy. And then you start talking to them and talking about the familiar things. And then they know that you care about them, and then that's the way to get the deals, when they know you care about them. So the CRM really helps them helps you care about the people you're working with.
Man, that's the last remark that I wanted to hear. So that's amazing. I mean, it's just a business of helping people. The way you put it was amazing. And I'm glad to hear that you're getting all of this value from us, and that you would also like other people to get some value from us. So,
oh, for sure. Yep.
That's just amazing, Rusty. Man, it's been a pleasure. So let's just leave it like here.
Okay.
Looking forward to hearing from more of your successes so that we can do a remake on this one.
Yes, absolutely.
But for now, man, you're absolutely crushing it.
Good. No, I'm glad. I want to crush it. And honestly, just to add to what Carlos was saying about helping people, honestly, like just last week on Friday, I wired $24,000 to get a loan current for somebody that was going to lose their house this coming Thursday. They were going to get foreclosed on. They were going to lose their house. They didn't really have anywhere to go. Like they were, and I'm giving them a few months free rent as part of the deal when they sell me the house. And so it's just like, this isn't just you trying to cheat people out of a house. That's not a business model. Cheating people, that doesn't work. I've never tried it. Maybe it does work, but I mean, I've never tried it. But you just, as long as you seriously like are just finding a need that they have and helping them fulfill that need, or taking away a stress that they have, or taking away a problem that they have by buying their house, then it's a slam dunk to close on the house. I don't have to really convince people to sell the house to me, because I'm solving the problem. They want to sell their house to me. And then we become friends. And even after it's all done, there's not remorse, because it was a win-win for both of us. And that's what these leads get you, is people that have those problems that you can solve. And that's the cool part about, honestly, about Facebook ads, is because people's raising their hands. Hey, I need to sell this house. I know this guy could probably close pretty quick. And you're there to solve the problem.
Man, that's amazing. I don't want to add anything to what you said. So yeah, I mean, I'm just learning so much from you. Your perspective, I love it.
Nice.
Awesome, my man.
All right, thank you, Carlos.
Have a good one, my man.
Okay, take care.